Hey guys, and welcome back. My name is Asgore, and yes, I have created the nightmare of all games from your smartphones in Minecraft. This is Flappy Bird, and it's as annoying as the real game. The hit detection, of course, is not perfect because, as you know, this is Minecraft. You also are not allowed to touch the golden, the golden edges on the top and on the bottom. Oh no! Okay, I died. Hey, new high score. And yeah, so I will show you how I built this. So first of all, there is my player detection system like in my previous videos. So if I press this button, which is the reset mechanics, then you will see that I will get teleported to the center. And this is because over here is the spawn area, so the set world spawn. So all players will spawn inside this chunk and will then automatically be teleported to this location. And also when I press the reset, of course, the objectives, so for example, player ID, ID used, time online, play mode, ID in progress, a game in progress, jump, game started, a high score, count score, calc score, and wall, which is not needed anymore because I've done it another way. But I will try if I can do it the way I tried before again, and if I can create this somehow, which what not worked before, you will see in another video. I recorded actually about 4 hours ago, but I will show you the video. And over here, yeah, this display will be set to high score. It will be set to 0 for global. Game started to 0 and game in progress to 0. And this over here tests if, so because this is the player selection system, you already know with the teleports from my other videos. And over here it tests if a player has a play mode of 1, and this is a negation. So if there is no player with play mode 1 and the game is in progress, then it will also reset the whole thing. So for example, it will teleport all players to the center. It will kill all chickens. It will set the play mode of every player to 0, and it will set the global game in progress to 0 and also game started to 0. And now if I am here and I press the button, then this command block will test if there is a game in progress. If this is 0, which will be where the comparator will be reset through this command block, then a pulse comes through and then sets the play mode for a player on this location to 1, and then for all players outside this location at all. Okay, one mistake. You always notice some mistakes. Of all players to play mode 2, and then it will kill every entity that is not a player. Set the count score to 0, which is a global player, a fake player. Then set game in progress to 1. Give the player with the play mode minimum value of 1, so the active player, not the passive players. The effect 8 with a value of 150, so he can't jump. And then set game started to 0, and give the other players the invisibility effect. So if they are inside here, so these are people that just watch the game. They are invisible, so they don't see each other inside there and can still watch the game. And yeah, then after some delay, it will spawn a chicken right in this cage. Set the game mode to 2 for all players with play mode minimum value of 1, which can be deleted if you do not have players in creative that sometimes fly around. And then it will teleport the players with the play mode of 2 to this position, and with play mode of 1 to the position in front of the other one. And also set the score of jump to 0, because I have a jump score, so it tests if a player is jumping. Then it will tell some text with 2 point, 1 point, so the game is starting soon. Set game started to 1. Teleport the chicken to this location over there. With the rotation, which somehow does not work quite well. It works the first time, but if you do it more than one times, it just does not happen anymore. And there were quite some bugs that I had to deal with, which was very hard. And yeah, there it will reset the jump effect, so you can jump again. And over here, it will kill all entities that are on a location. Where is this location? Okay, I know. This is the location because I am actually. Give me a second. Nope. This button. Yes. I'm actually when I'm right here and I press this button with a nice command inside, you will see there is a minecart arriving, and this minecart has stacked sand entities on it and barrier entities, and it's driving, and then this will be killed as soon as the minecart is in this area. All the sand entities, so from here to the top, will be killed, and the signs are here so that the falling sand cannot place itself to this location and hinder the other cards that come through, so it's not interfering with the other cards. And because sometimes it somehow happens, even though that I kill all the entities from bottom to top, it still somehow summoned a sand entity right over here and placed it. And yeah, then the card had some bugs, and yeah, that's why I placed the signs. And over here, as you can see, this is an activator rail, and it will add 1 to a global player, the count score to 1. And so let me show you this again. This is a very long command, so it will summon these cards. And at first I wanted to do it another way. Oh, you have seen it right here. That the sand was still falling even though that I killed every entity. And at first I wanted it to add a score to a falling sand entity of 1 for the wall, that score that I had over there. And I will show you a small video that I done a little while before. This will take about 1:30 and then I will be back. So yeah, watch the video. See you back in a second. Okay guys, this is pretty funny because I'm recording this way before the actual release of the video and also way before making the actual video. And yeah, because I'm going to delete this because I have to try around. And yeah, I'm trying with stacked sand entities, and these have XP orbs and with a pickup value of 1000 between them. And so if I drop a chicken on them, you will see the chicken will die here and not when it touches the wool blocks. And this also happens on these ones, because this is a stacked sand entity without XP orbs, and these are barrier blocks. And it should only kill the chicken when it touches the wool block, but it does not. And that's a serious problem. And I have to find a workaround, and hopefully I can present the map to you. And yeah, hopefully it looks good in some way, and it works kind of. I know I can't do it perfectly, but it should still be somehow cool. Okay, thanks guys. So yeah, and as you have seen in the video, it is very hard with falling sand entities. Okay, my recording program starts to lag again every time I start it. And Yeah, the way I've done it then was with executing a command at the minecart writable, which has a specific name. So for the gap at the top, for the gap at the center, and the gap at the bottom, and then it will kill entities chicken in a specific area. So dy is 6, and on this side this is what is this? This is okay. This is when the chickens are in a radius of 1 of the minecart writable, and so if it's too close on a minecart, so that the chicken will not push the minecart if it somehow makes its way to the minecart, because this would make the minecart go the different direction, and this would maybe ruin the game. And yeah, that's for the bottom line, which has because the gap is at the bottom, there are relative coordinates of 5 and then 10 to the top. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, 5, and then it will have the wall kill the entities. So the burial blocks do not kill the entities. And on the other side, there is for the center one, which has to the bot obviously, and on the top also a wall. And this is for top, yeah. And this method kind of sucks, but yeah, I had to decide because the falling entities stack in each other a little bit, and as you've seen in the video that I played to you, which I recorded a while ago, because of this, actually the falling sand will appear to be somewhere else than it is, so I could not make it. I had a score for every falling sand entity set. So if it was a wool entity, and it will have set its score to 1, and the wool entities were spawned with a custom name, and yeah, that did not work, as you've seen in the video. And I tried with display tile IDs for minecarts and multiple minecarts, but these, on the other hand, are smaller than regular blocks, and also sucks really bad. And yeah, now I did it this way, and somehow I had to find a way. Do I allow the player to fly inside the blocks a little bit, or will I kill the player if he's too close to a block and not even touching it? And I made a decision, and I of course made it harder. And so yeah, if you're not touching the block but you're a little bit above, sometimes it will kill you if there's a pulse. And I made a slower pulse, so sometimes it's more accurate and sometimes it's not more accurate. And yeah, so now I have a changing accuracy of the block testing, and that's due to the falling sand entities that appear somewhere else than they are. And yeah, and then there is the jump testing on both sides. So this over here tests for a player that has a jump score, and then these will execute after each other and not at the same time. So this will be executed the first, this the second, this the third, and this the fourth, and this is the fifth command block that will be executed. So this will teleport the chicken 0.2 blocks upwards and change the facing value, which does not work somehow, not all the time, only the first time. And then we'll teleport it 0.3 up, and after that 0.3 upwards, and then set the jump score to 0, and then success count to this block of 0. And why do I not have 0.8 in one command block? And that's because these command blocks don't execute at the same time, but after a short time after each other. And it looks a little bit cooler. And on the other side, I also have the jump testing, which does the same. And so both of these will be executed if you jump one time, so it is 1.6 upwards. But it can either start here or start here. So the detecting is double times as fast. And I was not able to use a super fast clock for this because comparators don't work for super fast clocks. And yeah, that's why I have it done this way. And this is because of the transfer cooldown set to 1, and that's why it's so fast. And then times 2, it's even faster. And over here, I teleport the chicken 0.1 upwards all the time, and that's so the chicken does not fall this fast. And over here it tests if the game has started, and if the game has started, this negation will turn off and activate this hopper clock. And this hopper clock will give saturation to the player that is playing, because every time you jump you lose saturation, and after a time you're very hungry and can't or I think you can't jump, but you will eventually lose health and die. And yeah, so every time there's a pulse through that, it will test for is there a chicken. And also with the transfer cooldown set to 25 on each side, not 1, recognize this, notice this, it will go to this this dispenser, which has 3 command blocks inside it, and there was already a button. Every time you dispense it, the command block will be executed, and as you can see, there will be the minecarts, and this will set the block to air again. But the command block is still inside it, because over there is a very, very, very long command. And this command is basically just stacking the falling sand entities on a minecart. And also this is a dispenser randomizer, and this has the block data, so I'm updating the block data of the dispenser and the negative X direction, because this is the location of the block, and I'm changing the items inside the dispenser basically to command blocks with a count of 0, and that is the important thing. And then there's the tag block, entity tag, and the command, and I'm using these long commands of the stacked entities, and then eventually, after quite a while of scrolling, still scrolling. Whew. Okay, I'm going to get a coffee. Give me a second. No, joking. Yeah, okay. After a while, there you will see that it has a custom name of center, the minecart, for example, and the motion tag, so it goes to the left. And yeah, the most important thing was at the beginning. So this is setting the items. So now it's on the slot 1 and not slot 0 anymore. So the first item and not the 0th item. And the most important thing was the count data. So here is the count of 0, and this is for every block that you have. So count, if you do +1, it will, every time you execute this, there will be added a new command block to the dispenser. If you do -1, this one will be removed, so you can't execute it anymore. But if you do it 0, nothing will happen, and these command blocks will stay inside there forever. And every time I press a button, you will see that these cool lines here appear and will be set to air again, because dispense command blocks will execute automatically. And over there, it will test for chickens, and if there is no chickens, it then will set calc score of global to 0 and will give a text "you died," which is a tell raw command where you can find generators on the internet. If you use Google for tell raw generator, which is very easy to use, and you can set the colors and if it's italic, if it's bold, and the text and so on. And also it will kill all entities that are not a player. So this is also to kill the mine cards that are still on a track, I guess, and also the falling sand entities, which if they do not get killed still cannot be placed because there are tracks, and falling sand entities cannot be placed on tracks, so they will just disappear. And because I have set the drop value of these falling sand entities to 0, there will not be a dropped item around the tracks. And after that it will add it will use the operation command to add to the calc score of the player called global. It will add count score from global to calc score of global, and count score is increased over there. And this was the calc score was set to 0, so now it is the same score that this one over there counted. And after that it will subtract, so there's a minus now, no plus, the high score of the player from the calc score. So if the calc score is 5 and the high score is 3, then the calc score will be 2, and this will give me a second. Calc score, high score. Okay, okay, I'm not very good at calculating, but it works. I just have some brain lag sometimes. And okay, let's move on to the next one. You can think about this. And so this calculates the difference between a high score and calc score, and if the calc score is between 1 and this large number, then it will detect that you have a new high score. And if you have a new high score, it will set your current high score to 0, and then right, but you got a new high score, and then we'll set for your high score that is now 0, the count score will add that to your high score. So now your high score is the count score, and after that it will display to sidebar again, because sometimes it disappears. Okay, and and then reset the block data of this command block. And after some time, because this is no comparator, this is a repeater, it will then set the play mode to 0, which causes this command block over there to see that there is no player with a play mode of 0 anymore, so this of 1 anymore, so this turns on again because the comparator turns off, and therefore the whole game is reset. And that's about it. It was so easy, this game, even with the stacked sand entities, was so easy to do, until I had to deal with all the shitty things with falling sand entities and the hit detection. The whole game was set up in about 1 hour, and then I worked 2 days on all the bugs on falling sand entities, and also I had to deal with if there are multiple entities. If you have, if you're setting the score board value of entities, every time you spawn a falling sand entities on the cards. After a while, you have so many entities that the plus command right here works, but the minus command does not work anymore. But if you change equals and minus, it works again. And if you reset the play score of a player, so this was maybe I will change this again. I'm not quite sure right now. This was reset play mode of the player, so this will reset the play mode. It will also reset the high score, and I did not know why until I noticed that if I reset all scores, it suddenly works again, because somehow if there are too many entities with scores that it is tracking, or that are already dead but the score is still saved, it fucks up all other commands. And yeah, this is better, I know this is a snapshot, and so I'm not even mad, but wow, it was quite a pain in the ass again to have the hit detection work somehow, and I'm so unsatisfied with how this works. It's still kind of cool, but it could be so much nicer if it would actually have falling sand displayed at the location that they actually are. And yeah, but still a cool game. Let's play again. One at a time. So now, as you can see, I was in creative, and now if I press the button, I will have my game modes reset. So, come on, man, I'm bad at this. Hey, new high score. I reset the game recently. Yay, I'm so great. Okay. I will copy you this game into the description. I will upload it somewhere, and have fun playing, guys.